now looking into a menu consists around 15 to 20 edible things, small bites and several bites served in the same time. And we draw a lot of inspiration from space exploration and innovations that's happened in space the last 60 years, but also focusing on the Earth as we know it, and some of the major challenging we're standing upon. So we not like just go up there and forget everything about what's happening on the real planet, because vegans is not possible on this trip, because there will be too many textures we would like to create where we require maybe some fish proteins or like animal proteins that be hard to get in vegetables or like plant-based products. So I'm trying to convince my girlfriend that we will take a 3 days trip to India, but she thinks it's too short. But now I'm talking about India for the last 2 years, so I just really want to do it.
You know, it's very interesting when I read this little news piece on how you're going to be really serving diners in space. The very idea is mind blowing, really. As we start, can you take me back in time and tell me, how did this come into being? How did you really end up really saying that yes, we're going to be doing this? And yeah, how did it all start from, please?
Yeah, we were approached by this American-based company, Space Perspectives, Space VIP, and yeah, was talking a little bit about the food and maybe doing a dinner in space, and we both, me and the CEO of the company, Roman, was quite excited about doing something. I think he had been actually talking with some chefs beforehand, where they were talking about doing chocolate bourbon that was looking like the planet Earth or something like other chefs, and I don't think he felt it was that exciting. So when we had a talk together, for me, we didn't focus, and normally when we conceptualize things, we don't focus that much about the food to start with, to be honest. It's more like a medium that we use to cultivating our story. So we were very much driven by the storytelling, and I think like that was probably what really enhance this collaboration, because he's kind of the same. So we want to have some impact with this project. We want to talk about things that's important, and we seen the, just to say that we're going to serve a jellyfish dish in space has been like travel around the world, but like the publicity it go into this project is quite enormous. So how can we use that platform as wisely as possible to cultivate things? And also the next 2 years research is going to be amazing, because we actually have the financial to do it, and hopefully we can take some of these inspirations and innovations into to a broader society part. So I'm very happy for the project. I think it's very interesting, and especially also that it's a project that's carbon neutral, so the flight doesn't require big motors or anything like that. So it's going kind of the line that we want to. So.
How many, like, would you be traveling with a team over there? And how is it? Because you have to train your bodies to, is it like that? And to be able
We
to
we
acclimatize
need.
to that.
I don't think there's right now. There's not any special requirements regarding guests or us. I mean, I should probably not gain 100 kilos. There could be maybe a problem there, but it's not like a zero gravity flight. So in that way, it doesn't require like some extra things, and it also make it kind of accessible for most people. Beside the ticket price right now, but in the
Yeah,
future
yeah,
as well, like
yeah.
possibility to go up there even with bad heart or like whatever. It requires the same restriction that's going to a normal airplane. So in that way, it's kind of the same.
Right. Tell us about the preparations that are going on for executing this in 25. This is going to be in 2025. What are the dates out? Like when are you all planning on
It's
embarking
not
on
out
the
yet,
actual? No.
but end of 25 is the time
Okay.
frame we're working with right now. And
Right.
right now
So
our
yeah.
is to research and we in the brainstorm phase right now. So all kind of ideas that's coming up through the months where we have been know about this project. So different collaborators, partners that we're talking to that would like to be a part of the project. They're coming either with technology or design or ingredients as well. We just had one this morning with some very exciting new ways of growing ingredients and that we maybe want to take into space. Depends a little bit on flavors and all of these things. But it's right now our brainstorm phase, and then we going more into depth. We're developing the menu and the whole concept around it, like plates and designs and the way that you going to get your tickets, the way that we're going to transport guests from wherever they are in the world to the location where we're going to do the launch from Florida coast. And what is the experience when they come down to Earth again and they land in the sea? The way that we pick people up in the boats and we like the boat experience. So all of the experiences that's part of this expedition is very interesting also. But it's how we do it. And we will travel a quite big team eventually into the end of 25 to the States and being a big team of like operating the whole like one thing is that I'm going up probably alone right now with the guest and the pilots, but the launch events and the after event when people land on the sea is also need to be cultivated and experienced there. So.
How will you cook there, and how many meals, and for how long, and what like what is are there any special things that you'll be carrying with you? Can you?
I don't know everything yet because I still was in a brainstorm phase. So, but we know the drive. I was saying the flight is 6 hours. So from you go up to you come down again, the 6 hours that you need to like make food or like make the guest happy up there. And of course the main I would say event of that flight is to see the Earth from above. So I mean we quite given in that way that the biggest part of the experience is there for free
Yeah.
for us at
Yeah.
least, and
Yeah.
that way that the food needs to substitute that and not overshine it or take all of the focus away from that. Also you need to see these things, so we need to balance that very well. And I think we can actually compare a little bit to the restaurant when we have content in the dome. I know this will be more extraordinary to see the planet Earth and the universe, but also in the dome we're working with different elements flying around you and in that way try to control where the food come in and when you give space for the music or for the content itself. So I think it's the same kind of approach we will have for that. We right now looking into a menu consists around 15 to 20 edible things, small bites and several bites served in the same time. And we draw a lot of inspiration from space exploration and innovations that's happened in space the last 60 years, but also focusing on the past as we know it and some of the major challenging we standing upon. So we not like just go up there and forget everything about what's happening on the real planet, because I also think we cannot escape this. We need to be here. We have one of these planets where we need to take more care of it and try to, what can you say, cultivate and lift up this perspective that you will get when you come up there, like try to support that with the food and some of the problems and solutions that we're going to talk about. It's also going to take guests on a journey where they will see a lot of novel things. We would like to showcase some novel techniques and novel mouth feelings and also try to, even if we're not in zero gravity, we would like to try to work around some of the storytelling there is with zero G foods and try to approach that in a new way, because I think that's not been done that much in space traveling. It's mainly nutrition. There's the important part there, but it's rare that it's about the experience also, and the design of that. So, example, in space you use liquid salt and liquid pepper, and like in that way could be maybe put something else into this liquid of like seasoning. Could we approach that in a more gastronomical way? Could also maybe be a way of then find new parts for like space traveling food for the future. And I think that's interesting, and I also will tap into this what you buy into. I mean, when you buy this ticket to this travel to space, it's of course you buy into also a storytelling of being in space and experience what a astronaut is feeling, and so we would like to play on those key stories as well.
I wanted to ask you also, you've not really told me what exactly you're going to be cooking over there. So do you? Yeah.
We have one thing we're working on, the lightest material in the world, which is called the aerogel, which is normally not edible. So we're working right now on making that edible. So making the lightest material in the world, and make it into a cloud. And then the idea is we have a jellyfish protein that we use in the restaurant right now, where they glow up in the dark. So could you create this glowing stars on the cloud, and maybe turn off the light in the capsule without people's fingers falling down, but like have this element of the stars in front of you kind of blend into the stars outside. Could be quite amazing. And so that's one of the ideas working on. Other things we want to do, like space. There's quite big problem in space with the space junk and all of these satellites. There's not able to be burnt in the atmosphere, so that's like creating like this orbit of like space junk around, and it's actually a big problem, and not really that much that's going a little bit into it from some of the bigger organizations, because they can see it's a big problem. But we want to talk a little bit about that, so we're going to make some edible satellite pieces as well, and we're talking a lot about this different innovations that's been done there, and can be in that way also showcase some food, as we do in the restaurant, where we talk about plastic in the oceans. Like one of the things from space is amazing that you can monitoring different things like the Amazon rainforest, or like the coral reef, and in that way could we maybe tap into that and showcase that.
Will you make it public on what you're actually going to be serving?
Yeah, probably will, yeah.
Before
I think
you-
everything during the project will be both like published within journalism, and but I also think in some of the things probably what to do like not fortjener deserves to be published in maybe a scientific journal, and there will be a lot of like different collaborations also with universities around the world, which will be for everybody, and at the same time we will like to showcase it for the gastronomical like industry, so can be in that way like both on social medias, but also maybe in the restaurant do some of the things as well. Then we will do it. So it will be, there will be more to, there will be a lot to share about this project.
I'm sure. So this will be vegan food, non-vegetarian, vegetarian, everything. Like, will you be catering to various food groups?
We do accommodations. We will probably do to an extent. I think vegans is not possible on this trip, because there will be too many textures we would like to create, where we require maybe some fish proteins or like animal proteins that be hard to get in vegetables, or like plant-based products. So in that way, we have not decided yet, but I think if there's one that is pescatarian or have a hazelnut allergy and stuff like that, we will accommodate it for sure. But probably not vegan, because it will not physically not be possible to create the level of textures we want to create, and then we don't want limitation on that. So.
Yeah. So what has been the most challenging aspect of this journey?
There will probably be quite a lot of challenging with
The practical thing.
turn the lights off in the capsule and making the glowing cloud and an edible aerogel. And I think there would be quite a lot. We have an idea for a helmet that you could put on to create a zero G effect inside your or close to you, and that would probably be impossible to do. Yeah, so there would be probably a lot of. I think right now is to balance it as well, and like to have to we have put off the time to do it, of course, but we're also still operating a very serious restaurant. But there's so many things here that like kind of merge together, and where you have inspiration from this very outgoing project, you can use it in the restaurant as well, and vice versa. So it's so in that way, it's for me, I think it's now at least the challenge right now is to find out which paths to go, and because there's opening so many doors as well with a project like this, and people would like to be involved and like to actively choose the right ones to partner up with and to get most out of it in the next 2 years. I think that's the biggest challenge.
Right. Okay, let's talk about Alchemist. What is the recipe for running a successful restaurant?
It's a good the recipe for that. I think a lot of good people. That's very important. Good team. I think it's that's what creating the content, and the content is what getting the attention. And so in that way, both with the food and the design, I think what makes us different from other restaurants is probably our approach to both storytellings and creating an experience. I think we're looking very much beyond the plate itself. Like the plate is very important, and we focus mainly on that as the main actor of the evening. But we're also focusing on the rooms and the different installation rooms people come through, the design on the cutlery or the plates, the mouth feelings or the textures you're getting, to the sound that's in the speakers, to the activism you try to convey through your dishes. So in that way, it's more an experience and maybe more art exhibition with and it's greater than a restaurant maybe. So I think that's what really made it a success in at least that we have been solid booked since we opened the restaurant to now, and we had been very privileged. A lot of people on the waiting list, so that for me makes the biggest success. And then of course we are very happy that even in the gastronomical world, where we maybe maybe more on the edge, we still got some accolades to showcase. Hopefully that we also do good cooking, and that the content is also
right. Have you been to India? Have you tried Indian food? Anything related to
I'm trying to convince my girlfriend that we will take a 3 days trip to India, but she thinks it's too short. But now I'm talking about India for the last 2 years, so I just really want to do it because I think there's so much inspiration, and it's for me. I think I will be mind blown in the same way as I did when I went to Japan first time. I think there's so many things and layers and from different regions, and I really want to. I've not been yet, but it's really highest on my bucket list.